What's up, guys? Chris with HeavyHeadsRecords.com here. I've been out digging recently, picked up all kinds of good stuff, but I wanted to show you like the cream of the crop, the best stuff I've grabbed recently, and just talk music, talk shop with you. I really enjoy it. So, yeah, let me show you some stuff. First up, I've got Spinal Tap, Break Like the Wind on cassette. Anytime I see this one, I'm going to pick it up, and that goes for pretty much anything Spinal Tap, period. I love these guys. I love the humor, and it's just real fun stuff. If you don't know, Spinal Tap was a band that was actually created for the '84 mockumentary This Is Spinal Tap, and then they actually became a real touring act because the film did so well. Like I said, I pick up anything Spinal Tap related that I typically can. Love all their actual physical media out there. So check this one out. It's on the website. Next up, Tracy Chapman on cassette. Of course, this one's got Fast Car on it. Tracy Chapman just has been a legit artist this whole time. Of course, this song and this album had a resurgence when Luke Combs covered Fast Car and reminded everybody why the Tracy Chapman version is better. So thank you for that. In 2023, Mr. Luke Combs. Tracy Chapman actually first gained major attention by performing Fast Car on Late Night with David Letterman in 1988, which basically launched her career overnight. Next, we have the Chicago Bulls Greatest Hits on cassette. Love this thing. It's got so many different songs on here. Basically, all the songs they use in the stadium are on here, the best ones. And a little bit of background about me. I've done stadium audio before. I did the sound for the Springfield Cardinals here in Springfield, Missouri for 2 years. Cool experience, great experience. And it's cool that the Bulls have their soundtrack on a cassette tape. Now, when I was out there, I could not pass these up. That's right, we got Steel Panther on CD. Now, I think I've got them on vinyl in my own personal collection. I have to check. I've seen them live, saw them at the pageant in St. Louis. They put on a killer show. They started out as, I think just a cover band, a glam cover band. They started getting silly, and they developed into what they are now. What's cool about these guys is that they are amazing musicians and very talented actors, I would say, too. Their stage presence, the things they do, while they're playing are just hilarious. They are completely in character the whole time. I remember seeing Satchel lick his guitar at one point during their show and then basically spit it out like it was disgusting tasting, and just hilarious little side things like that during the whole show make the live experience really fun and really cool. And of course, the recorded stuff is hilarious. Next up, I've got some really cool finds for you if you're fans of Pink Floyd. This first one is called Piper at the Gates of Dawn. This is an earlier pressing of that album, of course, with frontman Syd Barrett on it. Piper at the Gates of Dawn is the only full-length Pink Floyd album led by Syd Barrett, who wrote most of the material before his departure from the band. Piper was also recorded at Abbey Road Studios the same time the Beatles were working on Sgt. Pepper's. So they would actually cross paths in the hallway. Can you imagine that? This record's a very important early example of British psych rock and what was yet to come. As far as the band goes, Interstellar Overdrive actually kind of forged the direction for later Pink Floyd stuff, unfortunately without Syd Barrett. Syd Barrett wasn't done yet, though. He decided he was going to put out his own solo stuff in 1970, whereas Piper at the Gates of Dawn came out in 1967. This album, The Madcap Laughs, was recorded over a fragmented period involving multiple producers, including David Gilmour and Roger Waters, who wanted to help their buddy out. Some of the tracks have arguably not great performances that are inconsistent or don't sound the greatest, but they left them on there basically to preserve the spontaneity of the recording. The cover itself is iconic. As far as Syd Barrett goes, it was taken by Mick Rock. And some people say this album kind of reflects Syd Barrett's mental state at the time. Unfortunately, Syd Barrett had some major problems with his mental health, which caused him to leave the band Pink Floyd, and still remains a very sad story in the band's history. Syd Barrett had one more album come out before he was done and faded out of the public eye. This, of course, was Syd Barrett's Barrett. You can check this out. This is a UK issue as well. It was released in 1970, the same year as the Madcap Laughs, with assistance from David Gilmour and this time Richard Wright, who also provided keyboards on the album. It's more musically cohesive than the Madcap Laughs, but Syd Barrett lost interest in making music. His mental health was suffering, and he didn't do much after this album. Here's another one I found out there that I don't know much about. I do know after some research that it's a bootleg, but I couldn't tell you how much it's worth. Does anybody out there have one of these in their collection? You want to give me some help? Let me know what this thing could bring. If you've ordered any kind of vinyl from us in the past, you may have gotten one of these in the mail. It's a Heavy Heads 45 adapter. It's a clip-in. And I like to send them out there when you order vinyl. What I'd like for you to do, though, for me, if you could, if you're watching this, if you follow us on Instagram or anything like that, and you've received one of these in the mail, could you post it? Could you tag us? Hashtag Heavyheads Records or hashtag Heavyheads or whatever. Give us a shout out. It would be so cool to see how many people have these and where you're posting from. So if you feel like doing that, please check us out. Find us on Instagram. It's Heavyheads Records 417 on Instagram. I'd love to see where all these wound up. All right, now we're going to get into the VHS tapes, starting with one of my all-time favorites, Spinal Tap. I've said many times, if I find it in the wild and it's an affordable price, I'm going to rescue it and bring it home. This was no exception. I've talked a little bit about the movie already. Spinal Tap 2's out now too, so check that out. I haven't actually seen it, which I'm disappointed in myself for that, but I'm going to very soon. I hope it's good. I've heard it's good. So, but yeah, check out Spinal Tap, the original, if you've never seen it too. You're in for a treat. Next up, Reservoir Dogs. One of my favorite movies of all time. Of course, Quentin Tarantino. I'm a fan of his stuff for a lot of reasons. This is some of his earlier work. I believe this was the first one that he got to write and direct. True Romance is another one of my favorites, but I don't think he got to direct that. I think just the screenplay, or maybe just, he just got to write the script, but he didn't get to do much else. This was his breakout movie, if I'm correct. Let me know if I'm not. Tarantino actually intended to shoot the film for $30,000 before Harvey Keitel got a hold of it and said, hey, I can help you get more money. Next up, another one with Quentin Tarantino's involvement. We've got Natural Born Killers. I think on this one it was produced by Oliver Stone. I know he had a big part in this. This is a great movie as well. Of course, Woody Harrelson. It's also got Juliette Lewis, Robert Downey Jr., just classic 90s stuff. Got another cult classic for you. This time it's El Mariachi, Robert Rodriguez. This one happens to be a screener. El Mariachi came out in 1992. It was made for about $7,000, most of which came from director Robert Rodriguez participating in a medical testing program. Though it became the first film in the Mariachi trilogy, the director considered Desperado the proper studio remake of the story. Next, I've got another screener. This time it's Bordello of Blood, a Tales from the Crypt classic. It was originally written as a different vampire story years earlier, but they repurposed it when Tales from the Crypt needed a second film. Bordello of Blood was actually planned as a sequel to Demon Knight, but it didn't work out because the films were just too different in tone. Next up, another screener, The Lawnmower Man. This was loosely advertised as being based on a Stephen King short story, but the film has almost nothing to do with his story, and King actually sued to have his name removed, and he won. The CGI effects in this movie look like they came from a PlayStation 2, but at the time they were cutting edge. Now let's get into a little bit more rare stuff. Next up, it's Jaws: The Revenge. This was famously marketed with the tagline, "This time it's personal." The film is often cited as one of the most extreme examples of sequel drift. The reason this movie has a cult following is because the shark is chasing the Brody family for no reason, which is hilarious. Here comes a heater. Whew. Evil Dead 2. What's interesting about Evil Dead 2 is they kind of remake the first film in its opening section due to some rights issues. The film came out in 1987 and it blends horror with slapstick, creating a unique tone for the film. Here's an all-time classic, one of the greatest of all time, Nightmare on Elm Street, the original. This one came out in 1984 when Wes Craven read in the newspaper that some people had actually died during nightmares after they refused to go to sleep. The name Freddy Krueger actually partially references a childhood bully of Wes Craven, and his red and green sweater was chosen because the colors clash very sharply to the human eye. This is the film that actually launched superstar Johnny Depp's acting career. This was his first movie role ever. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Thank you for hanging out with me today. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Please check out my other videos, and please check out HeavyHeadsRecords.com. I'll catch you next time.